We're going live. Turn that game off. You're not even playing the live person.
Hold on.
Ain't no hold on. We already live. What's going on, guys? Episode 16 of Clash of Cultures live series, previewing Week 7 games. Let us know where you guys are viewing from, who you guys are going for. D Holly said, "Let's go Hate Week." Who are you a fan of?
Hate Week. Yeah,
I'm assuming it's got to be Oregon. It's got to be Oregon.
Yeah.
That's the only way. But yeah, we're going to be previewing all of the matchups today, talking about obviously College Game Day and one of the biggest matchups thus far in the season with huge playoff implications. It's going to be fun. Let us know if there's any other topics you guys want us to cover, any questions you guys have, any comments regarding us being. I mean, this is the halfway point in the season now, so it's been fun. I know there's going to be a lot of good matchups, to come still. And Jeremy says, "What's up, guys? Can't wait for tomorrow."
What up, Jeremy?
Definitely going to be some fun football tomorrow. But with that being said, let's go ahead and just kick it off.
Hey, before we get to that, I just want to talk about how my son was hating. I'm nasty at Madden. Anybody want that work?
Why are you still talking about that?
Mr. Jackson, I give work out in Madden. I was handing out some work earlier. Steven was hating, and I just want y'all to know y'all can get that work if you.
What was the gamer tag of the guy you were beating?
Huh?
What was the gamer tag of the guy you were beating?
That's
the question. What was the gamer tag of the guy you were playing?
What are you talking about? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, you don't know what that means because you don't play online. You play against the damn computer. You say he's giving out work to AI.
Anybody can get it. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can get it. All right, but go ahead.
But just to kind of get right into it, starting off with the first game of the day, happens to be the number one team taking on Vanderbilt. I don't have much to say about this game. I don't know about you. I have it 38-6. Georgia beating Vanderbilt 38-6.
Yeah, so we're very close. I like, and obviously I picked against Georgia last week, and probably the last time I'll do that. That blue wall did not do what they were supposed to, and Georgia flexed their muscle a little bit, and that's just facts. But I think you started to see a little bit of that offense come into fruition. And I think that's gonna continue this week. Vanderbilt's not a good team, so I have it 42-7. I think what Kirby has done, you've really never seen him put up 60 on a team. He kind of when they get up enough, he'll take his foot off the gas, and that's the only reason I have it at 42 and not 60. This could easily be a 60-0 game.
What's up, Greg? We've only done one game so far, so we're just now getting into the previews. But moving on to our next game, we have Indiana versus number 2 Michigan. I'll let you kick this one off first.
Yeah, Michigan has just been a consistent team, I'll say. I'm not going to say they haven't been spectacular, but they've been consistent. I think they're one of the few teams that won every game by 20 points. Now, they have had a weaker schedule to start the season, but Indiana isn't much of a match either. I think they just bludgeon these guys, especially in the trenches. That's Michigan football. Those two running backs, Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, we know what they're going to do. So I have it 38-14.
So just before I give my prediction on this game, Michigan's a 33-point favorite. I don't think they cover that. That's a lot of points, especially with how Indiana looked against Ohio State. I know they're 2-3, but I think 33 points is a lot of points. I don't have them winning by that much. I have them winning 41-17. That's the line I have it at. But okay. I do think Michigan wins the game pretty handily, but I think 33 points is a lot of points. Moving on to our next one, we have Ohio State at Purdue. I'll let you kick this one off as well.
Yeah, this is actually kind of a trap game for me, right? And if you guys remember a couple years ago, I can't remember how many, but this is back in the I can't even remember his name. He just passed too.
Oh, you're talking about Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins, yeah. When Dwayne Haskins was a quarterback, Purdue blew the doors off Ohio State one season. This is a trap game, especially with that Penn State game next week. I am a little concerned, but Purdue is not a good team. So with that, I think we're starting to find some offensive consistency. The defense has played amazing. Even if you look back last week against Maryland, they actually really only gave up 10 points. I think defense is going to play again. Yeah, and just like Greg said, without Brom or Rondale Moore, I don't think they're going to be as good. I think Ohio State is going to put this game away. I have it 41-7.
I don't have it that much of a difference. They're only an 18-point favorite in this game, but I do think they win pretty handily. I have it 45-21. I think it's going to be a close game early. How the rest of Ohio State's games have been, but I agree as far as Ohio State kind of finding a rhythm offensively, getting to the flow of the offense. The receivers have kind of woken up. McCord has looked a lot better.
Of note, Emeka Mbuka did not travel to Purdue, so he will not be playing tomorrow.
I don't think that's a big deal in this game. Obviously, you guys need him next week, but I don't think it's a big deal for this game. So, yeah, I have it 45-21. I still have him winning by 24 points. I think 18 points is a little low for that, especially when you look at the Michigan-Indiana line. That's kind of odd. But moving on to the next one, I'll do this next one first. We have Syracuse against Florida State. I know I had Syracuse beating North Carolina last week. They got blown out. Syracuse did not look that good. And I think up into the Clemson game, they looked like one of the top teams in the ACC, obviously, with lesser opposition. They didn't look terrible against Clemson, though. Like I said, they had a few, key turnovers early in the game, but still fought until the end. In the North Carolina game, they just got the doors blown off on me immediately. So I don't think they're going to put up too much resistance against Florida State. Florida State is an 18-point favorite. I have them winning by 18 points. I have it 31-13 Florida State. I think a home field advantage is going to play a key factor. And Syracuse has shown they can't really throw the ball. And if Garrett Schrader can't, run down the field, their offense is pretty stagnant.
You said it's an 18-point?
18 and a half point towards Florida State.
So with that, I don't have Florida State covering. I do have Florida State winning, though. I have it 31-18 Florida State. Just too many weapons. Those big receivers are tough to deal with. Florida State's going to be a tough team for anybody to beat. And I just, kind of seeing Clemson and then North Carolina against Syracuse. I think Syracuse is a good team, but not a great team. And, I don't think they'll be able to beat Florida State.
Moving on to our next one. I'll let you do this one first. Arkansas versus number 11, Alabama.
Yeah, so this is a tough game for me to pick because I think Alabama is starting to figure out who they are, especially on offense, especially with Milroe. I think that offense is starting to hum. The defense has played good all season. And then Arkansas is obviously having some troubles. I don't know what's going on with Jefferson, with Sanders, but they are not. And I credit to Steven. I got to give credit where credit's due. He called it. I think at the beginning of the season, I thought Arkansas would have been much better than they've shown so far this season. So with that being said, I'm not going to say I have Alabama opening up a can, but I have this game 34-10 because, again, I think that Alabama defense is very good, and I think their offense is starting to come around.
So they're a 19.5-point favorite. Alabama is at home. I have it 27-10. So you have a touchdown more than me. I think it's going to be the same situation with Ohio State. I think the early part of this game is going to be very close. I think Alabama's going to lean heavy on their defense the rest of the season. I know their offense has looked a little bit better. Jalen Milroe kind of had his coming out party last week. But I think at the end of the day, this offense isn't what we've seen the last, 4 to 5 years at Alabama. The defense is still the same. So I think they're going to win a lot of low-scoring battles. I don't think there's going to be, 40 and 50 points being put up by Alabama in a lot of these games remaining, especially when you still have to play LSU, you still have to play Tennessee, you play Auburn later in the year. So I think they're going to win this game. I don't have them covering the 20 points, I guess we'll call it. But I think they still win the game nonetheless. But moving on to our next one, we have Cal versus Utah. I'll go first in this one. Kind of the same exact recipe for Alabama. I think, Utah's offense has been lackluster all season, but Utah has had a top 5 defense all year long, kind of kept them in a lot of games, won them the game against UCLA, really won them game against Baylor, I think it was as well, got the key stop at the end. So I think Cal is just doesn't have the talent like Utah does. Utah's an 11-point favorite. I do have them covering that line, but I have it a very low-scoring game. I have it 20-6. So I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game, but I think Utah's defense can kind of flex their muscles against Cal's offense.
Yeah. So looking at the Utah quarterbacks without Cam Rising, obviously, and I think we're all kind of waiting to see what happens with Cam Rising. I think 6 games played so far. maybe 5 or 6, only 700 yards passing. So 5 yards, only 700 yards passing. That's less than 200 yards a game passing. So yeah, it's the offense is not great. The defense is so good, and Cal is not good. That I also have this low scoring. I have it 24-10.
Alrighty, moving on to our next game, we have UMass versus Penn State. I'll let you kick this one off first.
Yeah, I don't. I think Penn State, that defense is very good. I don't know if you've seen. I seen Greg's comment about Rising. Long story short, it looks like I would not be surprised if Rising doesn't play this entire season. I think he's going to take a medical red shirt and then come back next year. But moving on. Yeah, I think Penn State, that defense has played lights out. The offense has played very good football. Maybe not explosive, but they just wear you down. We talked about Drew. We talked about the running backs. They have some players. I think they beat up on UMass pretty good. I think I have this 50-7.
I have the game 52-6. Don't have much to say about it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, we have last couple weeks have been close as far as our predictions, but I have a 52-6 Penn State. Moving on to the game day, game of the week. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit more about this one, being that it's 2 Heisman caliber teams, 2 playoff caliber teams, biggest matchup of the day. I'll let you go first on this one, though. Oregon versus Washington.
I would actually probably, it's tough, but I may call this, at least for me, the most anticipated game so far of this college football season, right? This is the one I have to tune in for. This is going to be a game. So it's a question of what offense can stop the other, because both of these offenses are explosive. If you guys watch the preview video, I think we both think Oregon has a little bit better of a defense. I give Washington a little bit of love simply because they're playing at home. I think they're like a 3-point favorite, right? 3.5.
3.
Yeah, 3-point favorite. And most of that is because of having home field advantage. Both of these, man, this is going to be a great game. I think because of that home field advantage, I am going to pick Washington. I have the game 42-38 Huskies.
Alrighty. Before I give my prediction on this game, I want to ask you, does the winner of this game, the quarterback, are they now the favorite for the Heisman? Bo Nix or Penix?
Ooh. Caleb Williams had such a mediocre week last week that, yeah, so there's a couple names out there, right? And I think we still got you're starting to hear Dylan Gabriel's name get used a little bit more. You're hearing Jordan Travis's name a little bit more.
But what I'm saying, so right now I would say Penix.
Would they be the front runner? Yeah, I think
Penix is the front runner right now. So do you think if Bo Nix wins this game, he has a chance? Especially if he has a good game, 250, 3 touchdowns and no picks.
Yeah, because I think everybody's going to be tuned into this game, right? And this is a West Coast game that isn't being played at a ridiculous 10 time Eastern, for East Coast guys. So everybody's going to be tuned in. So yeah, this is a showcase for them. I think, I would say the winner, especially if they put up numbers, probably becomes the front runner for the Heisman at this point.
What
do you think?
Edgar, if you're still in here, I know you're going to the game tomorrow. I know there's one other person that's on the channel that's going that I was talking to in the comment section, I think 2 days ago. I know they're going. D. Holly has it. Oregon 41-31. They got the better team. Travis is great, but I don't think he should be in the conversation. Same with Nix, honestly. Jordan Travis or Jordan Travis or Travis Hunter?
I think Jordan Travis, number 4 team in the nation with big wins. I think you got to put him in the conversation.
At Notre Dame for the USC game. We're going to be talking about that game here in a bit.
Yeah, that's coming up.
But I have Oregon winning this game. I think a lot of people are putting a lot into the offensive side of the ball. I think this is going to be for the Pac-12 standards. Let me make sure I clarify that. I think this is going to be a defensive game for the Pac-12 standards. I don't think it's going to be in the 40s and 50s.
Did you say your score already?
No, I'm going to soon.
Okay.
Edgar said, yes, sir, I'll be there. First college football game ever.
Man, that's a game to go to.
Put me on. Yeah, it's going to be a good game. Jeremy said, I recognize that statistically speaking, Oregon has better defensive numbers, but I feel as if those numbers are skewed to the quality of competition.
Now,
Both teams haven't really played anyone, though.
As an Ohio State fan, and obviously, so I'm going to remove Ohio State games. If I had to pick a game to go to this college football season, I think this would probably be the one.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. You still have USC Oregon as well, which we're actually going to that game probably. So
yeah, that'd be fun too.
But I have this game 30-27 Oregon. I think it's going to, again, that doesn't sound like a defensive game, but in Pac-12 standards, I think it's a defensive game, especially for these offensive standards. I think it's a defensive game. I think the run game is going to play a big factor with Bucky Irving. I do think Oregon's defense is really good when you're talking about the other Pac-12 defenses. And I don't know. I just think although Penix has been great, I think Bo Nix has more experience in big time games. So I think that's why I favor Oregon a little bit. I mean, obviously he got blown out against Georgia, but other than that, he's played well in pretty much all of his games that I can remember. I'm sure there might be Washington fans here or Oregon fans or even Auburn fans that say, no, he played bad against this team 4 years ago. But I'm talking about the top of my head. The only bad game I remember him playing is against Georgia, and that team went and won the national championship.
I thought Nolan was a USC fan.
Yeah, see, that's what I be talking about. Like,
Michigan,
I don't understand. But yeah, I think Oregon wins this game. I like it 30-27, like I said, but I just want to see a good game. I think it's going to be one of the better games of the year. I just don't want it to be lopsided at all. I just want it to be a good game to be able to watch. No one said I am, but I'm also a realist.
Okay, all right, I respect that.
Moving on to our next game, we have Texas A&M versus Tennessee. Those of you guys who weren't here before, we have a wager on this game. So the wager is,
tell them the wager because I can't remember.
Tennessee has to win by a touchdown or more, which kind of sucks because the line is 3 now, and I took the line 2 months ago. So if Tennessee wins by 7 or more, you have to buy me something at the Clemson game that we go to against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
If Texas A&M doesn't lose by 7 or more, so they can lose by 6 or less or win, then I have to send you a picture of my son in Ohio State gear.
Geared up, and he has plenty of it. Trust me, he is deep in Ohio State gear.
So I
ain't seen him in it yet.
So I'm gonna be a volunteer this weekend, especially without Clemson playing. I got A&M, Tennessee or some frauds, 30-21 A&M, and it's crazy because like when I was like doing my matchups, I actually picked Texas A&M to win. Like I was looking at it, I'm like, there's no way Tennessee wins this game, but I'm like, I gotta roll with Tennessee because I have the wager. So like it just sucks because like I feel like, especially because the line dropped to 3, there's nothing that Tennessee has shown me that they're gonna win this game. So accept the fact that they're at home and maybe.
Wait a minute, who do I got in this bet?
You have A&M to either win or lose by 6 or less, and I need Tennessee to win by 7 or more. Like I feel like this is bogus. Good. Like that's so bogus to me. But I have it 34-24 Tennessee. I don't even believe that. But I'm going with that because of the wager. I actually had A&M winning beforehand. Then I realized I had the wager, so I had to change it.
Listen. This is about to be the Facebook default, the screen cover, all of that. I have and straight up, and I know we had a bet, but I'm going to be honest. I have Texas A&M for the upset. I have them winning 31-27. I think they showed me some things, especially in that Alabama game. I think they are getting better. Not great. And again, I was down on A&M at the beginning of the season. If you guys see the Texas A&M preview, but I think they've shown me more this season than Tennessee has. So I got them winning by 4.
All righty, moving on to our next game. Before we move on to the next game, those of you guys who are still in here, please do us a favor, like the video for us. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We go live twice a week. We're going to be going live again tomorrow night to talk about the games. Tomorrow night after the Miami North Carolina game or after the USC Notre Dame game. Every week we go live after Notre Dame game. That's like goodness. It's ridiculous. They need a dang 10 a.m. game at this point so we can stop going live after them. But moving on to the next one, we have Kansas versus Oklahoma State. I'll let you do this one first.
Yeah, so obviously the big concern here is Jalen Daniels. If you guys seen, back injuries, didn't play last week. I think if he plays, Kansas is a formidable team. So I'm going to assume that whatever was ailing his back is fixed and he plays this week. So I'm going to pick Kansas to beat Oklahoma State. I think this game is going to be very close, but I think Jalen Daniels is a difference maker. I have Kansas 34-31.
Alrighty. I'm going to go the other way. I think whether or not Daniels plays or not, Kansas is a better team than them. I don't think it matters if it's him or the dude Dean or Bean, whatever his name is, if he plays. Yeah. I just think Kansas has a better team. Oklahoma State has looked shaky all season long. So I think if Jalen Daniels does win, it's going to be a blowout. But I think even if he doesn't, I think it'll be close. But I think they still win by 2 possessions. I have it 32-20 Kansas on the road. I think they get the job done. Kansas has kind of solidified themselves as somewhat of a football school now, which is kind of cool. I know last year they had a better year. This year, if they win this game, they're already bowl eligible through 7 weeks, which is awesome. With the chance to make the Big 12 title game, which is really surprising. I know they still have some games to kind of look forward to. They still play Oklahoma. They lost to Texas, and they still play Oklahoma, who's my pick for the Big 12. But if you just look at their schedule, hypothetically, if they win this game, which me and you both have them winning,
yeah,
the rest of their games are all against low opponents other than Oklahoma. They play Iowa State, Texas Tech, Kansas State, and Cincinnati. And when I say low opponents, I mean people with more than 2 losses, some of them being under 500. So if they can somehow beat Oklahoma, I think they finish the year 10-2 or 11-1, which would be crazy for Kansas.
That's impressive, yeah.
But I do have them winning this game. Let me go through some of these comments just because I was talking quite a bit. Guinea Pig said 35-20 Jayhawks. Even if Jalen Daniels doesn't play, KU will win. If I was Bean, I'd transfer. Man has potential.
He does, and I think you'll see him transfer. I think he will transfer.
Moving on to the next game. I'll do this one first. Louisville versus Pitt. This game was kind of tough to pick. The only reason because I feel like at some point, obviously those of you guys have been here for the last 2.5 months. I've been very high on Louisville. Yeah. So, but I feel like at some point they're gonna have that loss that they shouldn't get. And I just think that comes with not having experience. I don't think this team is a powerhouse. We saw them beat NC State by 3, and NC State is not a good team this year. Obviously, they beat Notre Dame last week, which is a huge win for them. They barely beat Georgia Tech early on in the year. They still have to play, obviously, Pitt this week. Then you play Duke. You still have Miami, and you still have Kentucky. I would be very surprised if this team goes undefeated. I know I said I had them going 10-2, and I think that could get them in the ACC title game. I still believe they go 10-2. But I think right now the ceiling is probably 11-1, which is awesome. But this game, they're only a 7-point favorite against a 1-4 team. I wouldn't be surprised if Pitt won this game. I don't have Pitt winning this game. But I have it 34-24. I only have them winning by 10, Louisville. I don't think this is going to be a game where they control the game all game long and dominate because they've seemed to kind of play to their opponent's level throughout this, this year. I know Georgia Tech just beat Miami on a fluke last week, so I'm not going to say they're terrible. But I mean, when you have 2 close losses to 2 middle of the road ACC teams, I think that's a recipe for disaster when you still have to play Duke, Miami, and Kentucky. So I have it 34-24, but what do you think about this game?
Man, I'm going the opposite way. And when I mean the opposite way, I don't have the game close. I think Louisville showed me something, right? And I guess I drank the Kool-Aid that you have sold me on, that this is a pretty good team, that they're pretty solid. And Pitt has looked atrocious. Pitt is not good. So I have Louisville winning pretty handily. I have winning 40-14.
Alrighty. Greg said Kentucky is fake, man. Not worried about them at all.
Yeah, I realized that after last week.
Well, you can't say they're fake. They lost to Georgia, who just won back-to-back national championships. A lot of people can't beat that team. So I get they lost by 28 or 30 points, but I don't think Louisville and Georgia are the same caliber of program or teams at this current point in time. So if we're gonna say Kentucky's fake based on Georgia standards, I agree with that. But I think once Kentucky lines up with the in-state rival in Louisville, I think that game is going to be competitive. And I'd probably favor Kentucky in that game. If we're talking about right now, what we've seen so far, although Louisville is undefeated, I'd still probably favor Kentucky.
I mean, Kentucky, and I think you still got to give love for the fact that Kentucky looked great against Florida. And they didn't just we beat Florida. They murdered Florida, who I think, again, is at least a good team. I'm not going to say they're great, but a good team.
Chicken said Boomer Sooner. Big win for Oklahoma, obviously. I don't think you were in here when I did the solo live show after recapping. But yeah, they're still my pick for the Big 12 title. Do you guys have a bye week this week? I'm pretty sure Oklahoma has a bye because I don't remember.
Yeah, because we're not previewing Oklahoma again.
Yeah. Shattered said 38-21 Ducks. We did already preview that game.
Ooh,
That is
that's
a huge. That's a huge.
17 points.
Yeah, 17 points is a lot. I don't think Oregon wins by 17. If Oregon wins by 17, Oregon needs to be probably the number one team in the country. If that happens.
If Oregon wins by 17, they're definitely going top 4.
But moving on, we are currently moving on to the Arizona versus Washington State game. I'm going to go first with this one. This is my upset pick of the week.
Look at Guinea Pigs. Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
What's up by? Oh, here we go with this.
That's a Notre Dame comment.
I have Arizona winning this game. I don't think this is a huge upset, though. I've told everyone from the jump I think Arizona's a good team. We saw it against Washington. We saw it against USC. 2 closer games. I think Washington State is not on the level of either of those 2 teams. And I think if Delora plays, which Arizona has had the other dude play the last 2 games, and they've been in both of those games against top 10 teams. So I think even if the other dude plays, I think his name was like FIFA or something. I don't know his name off the top of my head. But I think if he plays or Delora plays, I think they win this game. I think Arizona is a talented team. I think they have a lot of good pieces on both sides of the ball. Obviously, the backup quarterback is just as good as a lot of the other quarterbacks in college football. I don't think he's as good as Cam Ward is, but I think Arizona's team is better than Washington State's team. So I do have Arizona winning in a shootout. This is my only upset pick of the week, and I have it 41-38 Arizona.
So I have an upset pick of the week. It is not this game. I think Cam Ward looks better than he looked last week. And yeah, I think Washington State bounces back. I have them winning. But Delora is a heck of a quarterback. So I have the game somewhat close. I have it 31-21, Washington State.
And what if Delora doesn't play?
Yeah, I'll keep the score there because again, the quarterback, and like you said, I can't remember his name either. He's looked serviceable.
Yeah, losing to Washington by 7 and then losing to triple overtime to USC by 2, obviously. I think this is a good team. But moving on to our next game, I'll let you do this one first. Auburn versus LSU.
Yeah, obviously LSU has the 2 losses, but they still are a very talented team. They're probably one of, I'm not going to call them the best, but one of the more talented 2-loss teams in college football. I think they handle Auburn. Obviously Auburn's going to be able to score, but I think they handle Auburn. I have them winning 41-24.
So I don't have it that wide of a. What do you have it?
41-24.
Okay. I guess it's similar. I have it 34-17 LSU.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Yeah, I don't know why, but when I heard 40, that's why. Guinea Pig said very slow 21-17 win for LSU.
Okay,
I'd be surprised if the game's that close. That'd be crazy. LSU had 2 very tough losses. I think they'll give Bama a run for their money again. I agree with that.
I believe that. I do.
Yeah,
I do.
I think top teams like that are going to come to play when the time comes. So I do agree with that. But I have it 34-17. I think Daniels has a really good game. I think the receiving core has a good game. And I think with Auburn not being able to throw the ball at all this year, that's going to be their problem. If they get in the hole early, you're not going to be able to run the ball against LSU's defense and their front 7 and hope to come back like that. I just don't see that happening. I know they went up 11 against Georgia, and they weren't able to kind of put their foot on the gas and maintain that score. And I think LSU's defense, I don't think they're at the level of Georgia, but I still think it's neck and neck. It's close. So I don't think they're going to – first of all, I don't think they're going to go up 11 in this game. So I don't think they're going to even be in this situation like that. But moving on to our next one, we have USC versus Notre Dame. Guinea Pig, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Another big matchup. Guinea Pig.
Well, let me go first on this.
Okay, I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
This is, I don't know. Oh, let me think.
It's not an upset. If you're picking Notre Dame, it's not an upset. To me, it's not an upset.
I don't know if okay. I am picking Notre Dame. I think that USC defense is atrocious. The USC offense is amazing. The USC defense is atrocious. I think, though, for that USC offense, this is going to be the first resistance they really come up against. That Notre Dame defense is pretty good. And while the Notre Dame offense has not been great, the USC defense is so bad that I think this is going to help the Notre Dame offense get on track. Because I think the Notre Dame offense is better than some of the teams that USC has played, i.e. Colorado, i.e. Arizona, i.e. Arizona State, where teams have been able to score on USC. Obviously, USC has figured out a way to win. but I think this is the week against other 5-star players, 4-star players, top talented players, that it all comes to a head. And I think that offense is not going to be able to carry them over what that defense gives up. So with that being said, I have Notre Dame winning 34-28.
Alrighty. So Guinea Pig, again, if you're still here, I'm not sure if you are, please give us
He
your
writing
pick.
a book. Guinea Pig writing a book.
Don't give us your pick because we know who you're going with, but give us your reasoning why you think and your score and stuff.
He's writing a book.
You're not going to like my prediction here. The reason
I mean,
being,
I don't care. It's not.
No, I'm talking about Guinea Pig.
Oh, okay.
Jeremy has it Notre Dame 35-28. Don't be shocked if they win by more. I'm going to tell you this. I think USC is going to win by more than that. I didn't know this. Notre Dame's the favorite. I mean, it's at home, so that doesn't surprise me.
Good point.
Yeah, I mean, it is at home. And Notre Dame has, been a tough team to win on the road against. But I think USC is going to silence the doubters in this game. I think the defense is going to play a little bit better. I think this is the best offense that Notre Dame has played. And I think, USC is a better offense than Ohio State, at least. Let me put it this way. When Ohio State played Notre Dame, I think USC now is a better offense than Ohio State was at that time. So I'll put it that way. I think obviously Caleb Williams is the best player in college football. We saw the magic that, he's able to kind of produce on a week in and week out basis. I truly think that in this game, USC's defense is going to look a lot better than what a lot of people think. I still think they're going to give up, maybe 30 points, but I think they're going to look a lot better, especially if you're only giving up around 30 points to Sam Hartman and a top 20 team and a team that had playoff, aspirations. I don't think that's terrible. Obviously, you give up a lot of points to Colorado, a lot of points to San Jose State.
USC's play?
I have, but I also think kind of like what I brought up with LSU and Alabama. I think when the lights are the brightest, I think USC is going to show up. I think Lincoln Riley's a top 5 coach in college football. Caleb Williams is the best player in college football. They have one of the best, skill sets, when, we're talking about the toolbox for him, weapons. Yeah. I think this is going to be a high scoring game, but I think USC wins by double digits. I would not be surprised if USC went up big early. Like when I say big, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was 21-0 or 17-0 and Notre Dame kind of slowly rallied back, kind of crawled their way back into the game.
But you say almost like the Colorado game.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if USC went up big. Just because I think they have so much potential on the offense side of the ball. Before I get my score prediction, let me read what Guinea Pig said. This Notre Dame team has looked just tired, demoralized, beat. Notre Dame offense versus USC defense will be a display of the 2 worst coordinators in college football. Notre Dame has looked horrible. USC has not looked as bad. As still, I have burning hatred for USC, so I'm going to pick us no matter how we look. What about LSU defense? Oregon State versus UCLA. We haven't got to the Oregon State game just yet. Weather may play a part in this one. I agree. My score prediction for this one is 45-34 USC. Again, I would say USC has the advantage in this game. The reason why I say
they have the advantage.
They have the advantage because I think if USC goes down 17-0, they could score in 2 minutes. And be right back in the game. We saw that against Arizona. They were down 17-0, came back in literally. I turned the game off. I turned it back on, and they were up. So I think
but they should have lost that Arizona game.
I agree. I think if Notre Dame goes up 14-0, I don't think anybody panics because I think USC can score so damn fast. Yeah. But now I think if Notre Dame goes down 14-0, you start to panic because you're going against arguably the best offense in college football, who are very hard to stop. Even if they give up points, they've shown they win games like that. So I think the only way you're going to beat a USC team is you have to score 60 points. You have to score 50 points. And I don't see Notre Dame being able to do that. I don't. And USC has a terrible defense, notoriously this year, last year, whatever. But I think that it's going to be a game where Sam Hartman and maybe Caleb Williams both throw an interception, or there might be a fumble in this game. And I think whoever goes up big early, and they have to hold the league. And I think it's going to be easier for USC to do that because I think if USC goes up 17-0, 14-0, I don't think Notre Dame has the speed or the firepower to be able to, score in 2 minutes, get the ball back, score in another 2 minutes. USC has 1 touchdown capability all over the field.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I give USC the edge. But I wouldn't be surprised if Notre Dame won. So don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be surprised because I think Notre Dame's a good team. There's a lot of glaring deficiencies that USC has on the defense side of the ball. So I wouldn't be surprised. But my pick is USC in this game by 11. Greg said rooting for Notre Dame just so it makes Louisville looks better.
I respect that.
Notre Dame 31, USC 30. Dude, why are all the good games being played at the same time? Makes no sense. Miami, North Carolina, all being played at once. Yeah, it sucks, but I mean, it is what it is. A lot better talent on offense and better coaching. But moving on to the next one, we have Miami versus North Carolina. I'll let you do this one first.
Yeah, obviously Tez Walker back for North Carolina, and that's big. I think he had 6 catches, 43 yards, nothing major last week, but I think we've seen Drake May start to look a little bit better. Didn't have necessarily a great start to the season, but we saw them boys come out against, again, what I think is a pretty good Syracuse team and really dominate. I think just having that weapon helps him. So another week with Tez Walker, I think Drake May is going to look better. Now, we all seen the Miami debacle, but let's not even just look at the end of the game. Miami did not look good that whole Georgia Tech game, right? This is a game that I think we all suspected that Miami would put Georgia Tech away. Georgia Tech shouldn't have even been in that game. Hines King threw 2 interceptions, but Tyler Van Dyke threw 3. Miami was able to run the ball a little bit, but again, we may be back to old Tyler Van Dyke. Lots of turnovers, didn't look great. And this UNC team is pretty good. So I have UNC winning this game. And like I said, I think we see Drake May just start to look a little bit better each week, especially with Tez Walker back now. I have them winning this somewhat handily. I have them winning 38-21.
So I have it 38-27. I think this is going to be an ugly game, though. There's going to be a lot of turnovers in this game. I don't know why, but I think both of these teams haven't looked the greatest. Obviously, North Carolina had a really big win against Syracuse last week. 1 second. Guinea Pig said UNC is coming off a huge win, probably their best game of the season. Miami's coming off the most embarrassing way possible to lose a game. The momentum is just not in Miami's favor, 34-21. I think this game is going to be good, though. I think when you look at both teams, they're evenly matched. North Carolina is only a 2.5-point favorite. So another game where I could see it going either way. As a Clemson fan, I'd love to see Miami win because that would help us, in terms of getting to the AC title game.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening, though. I think North Carolina's a better team. I think right now, as Guinea Pig said, momentum is going to play a factor. Saw Freeman today and gave me a nod. I think we're going to be all right tomorrow.
That's what's up.
I need USC to win for Oregon's sake, but I think they'll lose. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to come down to field position in this game. I think the North Carolina home field advantage might play a part as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if either team won. Miami should have won that game last week. They obviously didn't. So this should be an undefeated matchup. Could have been, well, it wouldn't have been the game day game because of the other game, but could have been a really interesting matchup, top 15-ish type matchup between these two teams. So it kind of sucks that we got one loss out of Miami heading into this game. But I hope it's a good game, but I do have it, like I said, 38-27 North Carolina. Moving on to the next one, we have Mizzou versus Kentucky. I'll let you do this one first. Oh, he's frozen. He's got to be frozen. There's no way he's just frozen like that. So he'll probably come back in a second. Oh, no, he's here. Okay, you good?
Yeah, well, I ain't going nowhere. What you talking about?
Frozen.
I had that Alex internet for a little bit.
Missouri versus Kentucky. Before you give your prediction, though, please, if you guys are just now stumbling in here, give the stream a like, share it to someone, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We go live twice a week, post college football. Most of the time, every day. Lately, my newborns have been whooping my ass.
Boy, that boy, I talked to him earlier, boy, that boy needed a pep talk.
But yeah, like
I
said,
we had to get in. Hey, everybody put their hand in.
But subscribe. We have a big giveaway coming at 1,000 subscribers. We've been at 940 something for like the last 2 months. So please help us hit that milestone. But Dad, who do you have in this Missouri-Kentucky game?
Man, let me tell you, Missouri somewhat impressed me in that LSU game. Now, obviously, they fell apart late, but I think Brady Cook is a legit quarterback. And yeah, if you guys seen my confidence in Kentucky last week, well, it is fainting. I do not have confidence in Kentucky. Now, obviously, again, as was mentioned earlier, that was Georgia. But I think this Mizzou team is halfway decent. I don't know if you call this my upset of the week or what, but I have Missouri winning 28-21.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna go the other way. Okay. I don't think Missouri wins this game. I think, like we talked about last week, I know JB.
Where JB? Get him, JB.
Guinea Pig said 35-20 Mizzou. I just think, again, Missouri was a product of their schedule, product of their environment. I think as we get onto the backloaded portion of their schedule, I think they're going to start dropping a lot of games. I think this is one of the games they drop. Kentucky's a 2.5-point favorite at home. I think Kentucky kind of wants to get that bad taste out of their mouth from last week, getting blown out against the number one team in the country. So I have Kentucky winning a close game, but I have them winning 30-24. I just think that Kentucky's a little bit better of a team. Brady Cook has looked good this year. But I think Kentucky just wants to kind of prove that their season hasn't been a fluke based on, their loss last week. This dude is frozen again. Who does this guy have for his internet? Yo, this is crazy. Jeremy said Ray Davis might be able to get over 100 yards, but it won't matter. Pancake said, where is it? I know he's not faking it. Mm-hmm. Bro's connection is terrible, y'all.
Bro, I don't know what's going on.
This is ridiculous, man. What you got going on?
I could hear you that whole time.
Yeah, I can. You just.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, red dude, frozen, man.
I don't know what's going on. Right? I think I got too much stuff connected.
Moving on to our next game.
Exactly, Guinea Pig. I'm locked in.
Shut up, bro. This dude is ugly. All right, we got UCLA versus Oregon State. Bro, move, bro. Bro, get this dude out of here, bro. We got UCLA versus Oregon State. Man's concentrating. In this game, I think it's gonna be a close one. I think, bro, are you done? Because I'm gonna boot you up, bro. Come on, you playing too much. I think Oregon State wins this game. Obviously, both teams, kind of fell short. When you say losing to teams they didn't think they would lose to. Obviously, UCLA lost to Utah without Cam Rising.
Okay.
Yeah, without Cam Rising, you lose to them. And then you have the loss from Oregon State to Washington State, the 38-35 loss. So I think the season was on the line for both of these teams in this game. Being a 2-loss team in the Pac-12, and you still have to play other, great teams in the Pac-12. A loss here, you are officially out of the Pac-12 title game. I think that is for certain, because I don't think either of these teams, with the schedule they still have remaining, there's no way he's frozen again, bro. Yo, this dude's connection is ass water. What are you doing, bro? Jeremy said, I legit think UCLA can win. Nothing against the Beavs, even if I hate them at times. 28-22 UCLA. I have it 31-23 Oregon State. Are you good, bro?
Yeah, what you talking about? I was listening.
Tripping. Go ahead and give your prediction before your connection goes
hurry up. So, man, that UCLA defense is legit. And again, obviously they lost to Utah, but even points scored in that Utah game, one came off of a pick six. A freshman quarterback, Dante Moore, but I think they give Oregon State some problems. So I have UCLA pulling this one off 24-17.
Okay. Bro got Cricket Wireless. Show dude. Jackson just sued his internet provider. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But I'm about to start turning shit off.
The last game of the week, or the last game that we're going to be previewing.
I get like 3 minutes now. I get 3 minutes.
NC State versus Duke. This game is going to be an ugly game, guys. Obviously, Duke has that one loss to Notre Dame. NC State hasn't looked the best, but I think NC State's defense. That is crazy. I think NC State's
that's pretty
NC
funny.
State's defense is pretty good, so I think they're going to hold the Duke offense to lower numbers. As I said earlier, though, I only had one upset pick of the week, but I would love for NC State to win this game. If NC State won this game, it would help Clemson tremendously. This dude is frozen again. There 4 times in 5 minutes is got to be a record. He can't say anything about Alex's connection anymore. Guinea Pig has it. NC State 27-28. I have it 20-13 Duke. I think Duke wins this game 20-13. Hopefully his Duke connection comes back. You are bugging right now. Give us your prediction, man. This is ridiculous. Man, we gotta hurry up and get up out of here.
I got Duke winning, but very close, 27-21. I think this will be a good game. Just Armstrong has not looked great as a quarterback, has a negative touchdown to interception ratio. So I think he's going to turn the ball over. I have Duke winning.
Alrighty. Well, that Jack steals his Wi-Fi. He's making sure his
Yeah,
laptop
I
is
gotta
plugged
go.
into the potato he's using as a provider.
I gotta go talk to my neighbor, get the new password.
But that's gonna do it for today's episode, guys. Previewing week 7 matchups. Duke's got to win. I think Riley Leonard is still hurt. Even if he's healthy, he won't be himself without being. Oh, Riley Leonard is hurt. I forgot about that. I'd love to see NC State win this game. Like I said, it will help ACC big. Help Clemson in the ACC big time. But we are going to be going live tomorrow after the Notre Dame game around probably 10:30 Eastern as normal. I know you're not frozen.
No,
There's no way. I was about to say, bro. You playing around, you really gonna freeze any second. That's the crazy part. But yeah, we're gonna be going live tomorrow night. Please, if you haven't already.
Oh,
huh?
No, I froze.
Doing?
I don't know, man. My internet's tripping. Come on.
This dude is wilding out.
Oh, and I got mad. No, I got like 6 things on right now.
You playing against a computer. You're not even online, so it don't matter. Shut up. Your connection, you're not even connected to the internet on that. But we're going live tomorrow after the Notre Dame game. Again, if you haven't already, please like the video, join the Discord. Links in the description below. It's been fun.
Just in case.
This dude's gonna be cut out any second. But please make sure you guys tune in with us tomorrow night. Bring a friend, tell a friend. It's gonna be fun, but we appreciate you guys again. He's frozen. We will see you guys tomorrow at the live show. Peace out.